Alrighty
then. Welcome to the new and improved 128KB podcast.
Congratulations, both of you. 60,000 subscribers. We've been able to buy 2 new chairs.
And put the heating on.
I'm going to leave you to it. But,
It's festive time. It's Christmas. Oh, Pete's already gone. That was producer Pete, everyone. He was there
Pete.
for a rare appearance.
Yeah,
He's actually loitering around behind the camera
He only
still.
comes out at Christmas time. It's once a year.
Do you think he's Sunny?
Yes.
Santa Claus.
Sandy Claus.
Yes. Festively attired as well. I mean,
yeah.
it takes a lot for me to wear a Christmas jumper.
It does, yeah. It took both me and producer Pete to force you into it.
Yeah.
Like tie you down and pull it over your head.
I'm just kind of curious as to what producer Pete's doing right now.
I'm not too sure.
just a little bit of tweaking.
A
bit of tweaking
stuff. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh!
Pete is behind. No.
Oh,
that was me. You can't burn someone when they can't reply.
No,
I feel bad now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was harsh.
The elephant in the room is obviously
the fact that we're on this channel.
Yes. So we did warn you. Big things were
did.
happening. Big
We
changes
did.
were coming. If you appeared on the podcast channel waiting for the podcast for Tuesdays, well, you would have seen an announcement video.
Yes.
Saying to come over here.
Yay!
To catch you up as to what's happened, we realised that we made 128KB a hot mess of confusion to follow.
We had channels everywhere.
Yes.
For each individual thing. And we just thought, well, it doesn't make sense anymore, does
No.
it? So let's combine them into the home, the 128KB home, which is now this channel.
It means we can go on a New Year's diet as well as bringing everything home.
Yes.
Slimming down what we do, but giving you more as well. It makes us more exciting. It makes it more exciting for us. So just to catch you up, if you've missed out, Mondays and Fridays, it's exactly the same. Andy does his techie review, looking at hardware, whatever.
Yep.
That stays the same. Tuesdays is still podcast day.
Yep.
It's now here on the main channel.
Indeed.
Thursdays is still news day.
Yep.
But it happens here on the main channel. And those other channels, if you are subscribed to the podcast channel and the news channels, they aren't going anywhere. But what it does allow us to do is to take shortcuts out of these videos where we're talking about a specific game or topic and give you just that little snippet, that little short soundbite.
Yeah, so they're like the clips channels.
It's the clips channels. They're the highlights. So they'll still exist. They'll still have content on it. But everything, all the main stuff, all the main shows are here.
Yes.
128KB home.
And to kick it off with a bang, we've even changed the set for you.
You could say we drove home for Christmas.
All
in time for Christmas. Yes, we changed things up. Yeah. I'd actually talked about it in the podcast.
Yes,
that I disliked the table.
Yes.
I wanted to change
We've
things.
been thinking about it for ages.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do with this table?
And then literally about 5 minutes before we started recording this, Andy was like, should we change the set?
It's gonna be the first one on the main channel.
Yeah.
I feel like now's the time, to do it. So we've just been doing it for about an hour.
I've got to say, I'm not a fan of my... I just want a big shout out to YouTube who did actually give me a Christmas jumper.
And now you're going to diss it.
No, I was just going to put it down.
I'm not a fan of... Hang on a minute. Big thanks to YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube, for sending me a jumper.
I enjoyed the bauble, which is either yes or no in the shot.
We don't know anymore because we've moved the cameras.
Yes.
But it is behind your head. It's a Christmas bauble that says 128KB on it.
It actually says 128KB on it.
It's sweet.
It's amazing.
I've got a Christmas jumper from YouTube.
That doesn't say 128KB.
No, it doesn't. The sleeves keep rolling up like some kind of Tudor frills.
That is amazing.
It's really annoying.
No, I like it. Yes, that's it. Oh, yes, that is it. I enjoy that look.
Oh,
that is a look.
Do you know what's great about Christmas? And you guys will all experience it tomorrow when you're opening your presents.
Yes.
This is a bit like the present you get from your great aunt.
Yes.
Who doesn't really know what you like.
No.
But sees this cool hip jumper and buys it for you.
Yeah. And it's all itchy and scratchy.
It's got Concord vibes about it.
Yes,
You know, like, hey, welcome, fellow kids.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing, though.
Yeah.
That is made in the UK, which surprised me. Yeah.
What did it do?
It surprised me. Yeah. That's exactly what it did.
Gaming at Christmas.
Hey!
Do you know what? Christmas, I've said this before, and I actually got a load of hate from the comments about it. Christmas is my favourite time.
I agree,
for gaming.
Me too.
Because you can have like a week or so, or maybe longer if you're lucky enough, but like unadulterated, you don't need to worry about doing anything.
Yes.
You can just play
exactly
games.
And
it's so cool.
It's the perfect time of year to ignore everyone.
Yes.
You just put your headphones on, pick up your Ally X or whatever. You can be in the room, you can be semi-present, and then you just turn off and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Christmas is about being selfish. Buy yourself presents.
I mean, I do.
Buy yourself new games. I do too. Most of the presents from my wife I've bought and said they're from her.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But there we go. So yeah, I am the same. I've always, as a kid, looked forward to Christmas for that new game that I'm going to get. And generally, because I'm a handheld lover, you know, I am in the presence of people, like, and it's just
You're
kind
in
of
the room.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I can pause the game and chat or whatever if I need to,
don't have to.
but I can focus in on that game.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it be, whether it be on the Game Boy or all the way up to the Switch.
But you have those huge periods of time where you don't have to be around everyone.
Yeah.
And you're not at work. And you've just got time off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Food in. Let's just enjoy
Yes.
it. It's so cool. I always look forward to it.
Me too.
I also love your Christmas memories about gaming that you've shared in the past. This time last year, actually.
Yeah.
About Santa not bringing you
my
the console in time.
my
for the game.
hatred with Santa. Yeah. He did me a dirty that
Was
time.
it the Game Boy Advance?
No, Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
You got the game
Yes.
before you got the Game Boy.
He gave me.
Yeah.
Right. I got my stocking.
Yeah.
And as a kid, you know, in the 90s, it's like you can wake up. Don't wake up your parents.
Open your stockings first.
Open your stocking first.
Yeah.
But don't wake us up.
Yeah.
You just have to sit there and wait for hours until we wake up, and then we can go down and open the presents. So I'm like, sweet, you know, wake up at like freaking 3 a.m. or whatever it is.
You can eat chocolate in the morning. It's fine.
I could hear Rudolph's, munching down on a carrot on the
He was
roof.
munching down on a what?
On a carrot.
Okay.
On the roof.
Wow.
And so I was like, it's time to open my stocking. So I woke up, you know, I'm little Billy at this point.
Little Billy, that's where the
where it
legend
comes from.
started.
I wake up, open my stocking. I'm like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I open up a Game Boy Color game. Reservoir Rats, which I still have, by the way. Really good platformer. Really hard.
Yeah, love it.
And I cried because he gave me a Game Boy Color game and I didn't have a Game Boy. And so I couldn't play it. And I thought, well, he's given me his present now.
It's done.
It's done. How did he not know I didn't have a Game Boy? He could have given me the Game Boy and I would have been happier without a game.
Yeah.
You know, at least I had the thing.
He's looking at it.
So I'm there upset. My brother, that's like 11 years older than me, is trying to like console me without giving the game away.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Yeah. So he's like, and I'm like, and then I go down to my parents crying, and they're like, what's the problem? I'm like, Santa's given me a game and I can't even play it. I haven't got the console. So he's done me over. And they kept this up for most of the day. So like
They let you hang?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All the morning, I go downstairs, I'm opening socks and stuff, just throwing them away. Like, yeah, cool.
Rubbish Christmas jumpers.
Yeah, where's my Game Boy Color? So I was really upset. I wasn't like, you know, a horrible child.
It makes you sound really bratty.
I was going to say, I'm painting myself to be a really bad kid here. No, I was just sad because, you know, I didn't have it. Everyone had opened everything. And each present, I was thinking maybe my parents were in with Santa, you know, and they've got the console. Didn't happen. And whether or not it was by accident, but my mum, bless her, she forgets stuff sometimes. Sometimes you'll get a Christmas present from last year because she forgot to give it to you that year because she lost it. But anyway, everyone had opened everything. And my mum was, you know, are you happy? And I was like, yeah, but, you know, I can't do this. She went, oh, I think Santa's left a present upstairs or something, like some excuse.
He
I was
came
like,
back.
Yeah, I was like, right, okay. They came down, and lo and behold, it was the Game Boy Color, and then I was really
Just
happy.
right at the end.
So like, you know, way after everyone else had had it, but I was so upset that year. It was ingrained in my brain
Scarred.
because I had hours of being like, no, like I was proper in tears. It was sad times.
I still remember, I've probably talked about it before, but I still remember getting Sega Mega Drive.
Amazing.
That was it was a joint present between my older brother and sister and me. And it was right at the end of the day. Everyone had to open their presents, and then this box came out, and we had no idea what it was going to be.
Nice.
And like tearing off the paper and seeing that like the black box and silver checkers.
Oh wow.
It was almost as exciting as this moment.
Oh wow, thank you kindly.
Do you want to hear about Mike's?
I do,
Christmas
yeah. Go on.
story?
I want to hear your gaming Christmas story.
Commodore Amiga.
Commodore Amiga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm
Commodore 64.
or
Or the
gaming.
Amiga.
Do the gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do gaming.
You did.
If you ever need
Just
me
so you
this
know,
side
okay.
of the camera.
I've managed to convert Pete into a Call of Duty player.
Yeah,
From a Fortnite player.
From a Fortnite player into Call of
I can
Duty.
do the COD.
Yeah.
Having a few issues with it though.
Oh, what was the
Landmines.
spring mines?
Yeah, there's a sniper over in that building. Don't worry, AJ.
Yeah.
I'll get them. run in heroically,
Yeah.
blown up.
Well, you blew it, but you distracted him for us. That was, we like to send Pete on little scouting missions.
That's good.
That's what I'm here
Just
for.
to,
Lets everyone
Merry
know where they are.
Christmas.
yeah. Merry Christmas, Pete.
Thank you.
Gaming at Christmas. And he's brought you a coffee.
Probably coffee.
Oh,
It's
that's
really
really
nice.
nice. A little Christmas cup as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I'm going to hold this. enjoy
Oh, that's nice.
It's good.
Yeah, core memories, that opening the Sega Mega Drive. So cool. So exciting.
It's weird, isn't it? How getting a console like ingrains in your memory.
Yeah, it's a
I remember
it's a
every
very
single one.
Christmas thing.
Every single one, even if it was on a birthday or whatever, that memory of getting a console is like ingrained in my brain. Games, not so much, unless it was a fantastic one, then I remember it.
Yeah.
But like actually the system, I don't think I'll ever forget those.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I love Christmas for gaming.
Yes.
But what I kind of wanted to do is a little celebration. The first podcast on the main channel.
Oh, yes.
But also, it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
We had Game of the Year awards last week or so.
Astrobot.
Astrobot won. We talked about that. That's
Yes.
pretty amazing. And that was definitely a standout moment for gaming this year.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to go like, what were our
Games of
stand-up?
the- oh,
What's
yeah.
the 128 KB Game Awards?
yeah.
What was your game of the year? What was your standout moments? Bits of hardware. There was some big releases this year, and
Yeah.
obviously games as well.
Yeah.
Let's start with the hardware, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. How do you feel about PS5 Pro?
Definitely not one of my standout moments. Definitely not.
Don't think it was Sony's either.
No, it's riddled with problems still. It's hellishly overpriced.
Yeah.
It is what, I'll give them credit, it is what the PS5 should be.
It should have been.
Yeah, like
It
when
should
they
have
launched.
like this, yeah.
Because it is technically a marvel.
It will be great in a year's time when
It
they
will be
sort out Pisser.
Absolutely right. It'll be fantastic. When third-party developers can suss what the upscaling's doing. And how
Like
to use it properly.
Ubisoft. They're
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Let's just release an announcement to
This-
fans. We don't know what we're doing. We've turned it off.
Or like Silent Hill 2. What's the
Yeah.
patch? I will just turn it
We'll
off.
just sable it. Yeah, that makes it better.
So people are like downloading the PS5 Pro enhanced versions of
I
games.
feel so sorry for those people.
Or maybe they're buying the game for the first time because it's PS5 Pro enhanced, which is possible.
Yeah.
And then the advice from the third-party developer and publisher is just
Turn it off.
turn it off. It's broken.
But as much as we laugh
Definitely,
and
yeah.
joke, I do feel sorry for the people that spent that much money. But I don't think your investment's wasted. I think give it 6 months, a year,
Yeah.
and it will be back on form.
I will. I'll definitely look to upgrade next year.
Yes, when loads of games are coming out that will
when
utilize it.
towards
Yeah,
I'll look to it, but it depends on the price.
yes.
Because I'm not unhappy with my PS5
No.
now. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't use it enough.
I sold mine this year.
That was a highlight of the year.
That's the highlight of this
Sold
year.
it to a pawnbrokers.
Did, yeah. Yeah. And I sold all the games for like a penny each.
You really did.
I
They
did,
really
yeah.
ripped off a load of accessories. They were
Yeah.
like, no, I won't give you anything of those. And now it's a pawnbroker's right up the road from where we are now.
Yep.
And we'll walk past the window. So I'll tell the full story. Andy went in with his PS5. And they gave him a fair price on that, to be fair.
Yeah, the PS5 was all right.
Some games, they gave you sod all for that.
Yeah.
And then he also had like a big bag full of like accessories. There was like a
Random stuff.
like an Oppo smartwatch and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
just
old mouse or something.
Stuff
and
I had
Yeah.
laying around I didn't
But
want anymore.
boxed new things.
Oh, yeah, they're in good condition.
And they were like, no, we won't give you anything for it. And you went, well, will you take it? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to take it away again. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take it. Yeah, but we can't give you anything
I
for it.
couldn't be bothered to eBay them.
And now every time we walk past the shop in the window, there's all this stuff listed for sale. It's like 50 quid,
Yeah.
40 quid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like
what?
Yeah, you rip off merchants.
You did do me a solid though. You gave me an early birthday present.
Oh, yes.
When you got rid of your PS5.
Yes, yeah.
Ghost of
I gave-
Satsuma.
Yes, and Jiggly Physics Blade.
Yeah, Booby Physics.
Yeah, Booby Blade.
Which, Stellar Blade, I have to say, is a standout moment this year for gaming.
Amazing.
An incredible game.
Incredible physics.
Yeah. And you know what? It leans into being slightly sexualized in that stylization that of those games always has been.
Yeah.
Those kind of action games with a hardcore female
Yeah.
protagonist have always
Yeah.
had a kind of slight sexualization. I think all the way back to like Street Fighter and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah. They
there was
always have, haven't they?
always have had a bit of that. Modelled off an entirely real person.
Yeah, for Stellar Blade, for sure, yeah.
So it's not unrealistic. And what I like about it is no.
Don't go there. We're recorded.
No, what I like about it is they didn't shy away from it.
Yes.
They lent into their
it hard,
conviction.
especially with the patches.
And you're totally welcome not to like it. That's cool. We're all welcome not to like games. And for various reasons. It might be the story. It might be the microtransactions. It might be the art style.
Yeah.
And this is its art style.
Yes.
And I think it's cool that they lent into it. If you stripped it away and just made it just a general action game, it's still a very cool game.
Amazing game, considering it's coming from a phone game company.
It's their first like console game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they're
Unreal.
Korean.
Yeah.
And in Korea, they don't make AAA games. They focus only on phone games. So for them, it was totally taboo to turn around and go, you know what? We're going to make a AAA game for Western release because no one in Korea plays on console. Like they're all on phones and stuff. And so the company really put out a risk there. And I think it's amazing that they paid off. I can't wait for the PC version.
PC version is going to be amazing for the mods.
Yeah, I just want to play the game. You know?
And of course, you got the Nier Automata DLC as well.
Yeah.
I've not seen that, but
no, I've not seen any gameplay or whatever. But yeah, no, amazing.
It's amazing. What I was going to say is, what surprised me is that it didn't win a single award at the Games Awards.
I know, yeah.
And I think that's slightly unfair because it definitely is worthy of being noted.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it was a standout game this year.
Yeah.
It was a standout game of the same caliber, I would say, as probably like Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
So it's not like the best games.
No.
But it's a standout moment.
Yeah,
it's like a notable moment.
Single player game. Yeah.
Helldivers 2 and maybe Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines 2. That kind of caliber. It's like a really good game, not game of the year, certainly, but should be noted in the awards somewhere as something.
Yeah, it should have won something. Yeah.
One great thing that has happened this year, without picking out specific games, is there have been a kind of resurgence of good single-player games. I was just thinking about it there and talking about it.
Yes.
Or co-op games as well.
Yes.
And definitely a push back against live service.
Yeah. Battle Royales, they're 2017. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think they're very 2017 and they really rose to prominence during COVID.
Yes.
And I think primarily it was a way to socialise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that still does well. And I don't think they should get rid of them altogether. Do you know what I mean? My hatred for them isn't like kill them as a franchise, like, you know, as a genre. It's just I don't like that everything was leaning into it.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we saw the likes of Concord and stuff trying to chase that kind of live service, kind of battle royale style shooter thing.
They were just chasing a buck with it.
Yeah. And no, don't do that. Let the ones that do it well remain.
Yeah.
Let some other random companies do some third party ones.
If you've got a really unique, cool idea for a live service multiplayer game, I'm all for it.
But don't try and just cash in on it because it's popular.
Yeah. And like Concord was a great example of that. It was like they borrowed bits from loads of different games.
Yeah.
And then took all those bits into a boardroom of Sony executives and went, what do you reckon? They're like sticking it all together. And they made like this weird camel and they went, hey, if we put some sunglasses on this would be cool for the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, kids.
That's just weird. I don't.
400 million.
Imagine the single player game they could have made with that much money.
I'm shocked that they canned the studio. That's the bit of that story that I don't understand. Firewalk Studios, was it?
Firewalk, yeah.
Because there was clearly a talented team of people there, because the thing they made worked, and as in, like, you know, physically it was a working game.
It was a game.
A game. The Switch is a Switch.
Yes, the Switch is a Switch. Yeah.
Why they didn't like, let's try and rescue what we can out of this, make a great single player game. I remember the announcement of Concord.
Yes.
And it started, and it was this like 3-minute kind of rendered story.
Yeah.
And I was like, this could be quite cool.
Yeah, I thought it was like a single player sort of style game.
I was like,
oh, this could be cool.
It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe. A space adventure with some action in it.
Yeah.
I'm up for this. Let's go for it. So you do this whole story, and then it cuts to the gameplay, and it's an arena shooter.
Yeah.
I think actually my gaming highlight of the year, of everything, and we'll talk about some other things, was the comment section on that announcement video.
Yeah, that was good. I was utterly disappointed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really sucked. I also like how we said we were going to start with hardware.
I know,
and
we drifted
immediately
straight into games.
went into games.
I don't know how you distracted me into something.
I don't know. Did I? But yeah, we can keep going with games then. We'll come back to hardware if you like. So, yeah, I mean, those were some things that happened. I'm really upset with, well, not just Ubisoft in general, because they've done a lot to be upset with this year.
Ubisoft.
No, but I'm really glad that they've been held to account. Like this year, you know, like they've really been, busted.
Well, you had low rent Black Flag, didn't you?
Yeah,
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Oh my days! So that was a complete load of rubbish. Quadruple A.
Was
that this year?
That was. I think it was like February time. It was right at the start of the year.
God, see, it's so forgettable.
Yeah,
I thought it was last year.
Yeah, that sucked.
That sucked massively.
Avatar was this year. Was that Ubisoft?
Avatar was this year. Yeah,
that was good.
Oh no, was it the end of last year?
I can't remember.
Can't remember either. But let's say it was this year.
I only bring it up because it's got huge PS5 Pro problems now.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes, which they've completely kind of like remade whole sections of the game in terms of like how it plays.
It was a hot mess at launch, like all Ubisoft games. It was really broken.
Yeah.
There was the 24H2 Windows
problem, which still isn't really fixed.
They've just hot fixed it.
Fix,
they've patched it basically, patched it up.
Yeah.
And then they decided that, it's a stealth game. Let's remove the stealth parts of it, shall we? And just make it an action.
Okay. Should have done that at launch. Like, that's clearly not the direction the people in charge wanted.
Yeah.
It's just a reaction to the gamers.
And then, of course, we had Assassin's Creed that didn't happen.
Yes.
Shadows got delayed.
Yep, you're right.
It's Prince of Persia Ubisoft.
Yeah. I was getting there with that.
Yeah.
So we've had all this stuff happening with Ubisoft, and they've really dropped the ball on a lot. And they've been held accountable. They've been shutting studios down and all sorts, coming out publicly and saying we want to do better.
Yeah.
And that's why it was delayed, the Assassin's Creed, or should I say Samurai Creed. So, that one's been delayed because they want to try and make things better.
Ghosts of Assassins
Samurai. And then they released 2 Prince of Persia games. So,
and they do this like weird kind of minimal marketing campaign. They did a really bad job communicating Prince of Persia Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown, yeah.
They did a really bad job communicating that game because it rubber banded back to Prince of Persia's of old. And it had this Metroidvania kind of style to it all of a sudden. They made a Metroidvania and it was like, oh, wow, okay, it's cool. And the art style was great graphically for a 2D platformer. It looks really good. They did a rubbish job communicating that game.
Yeah.
And then dropped support from it. I think the reports from inside was within weeks.
Yeah.
They'd start pulling support.
Yeah. They'd done a DLC for it.
Yep.
And then they were like, yeah, we're done.
Yep.
And it's like, what?
Initially, the team wanted to continue working on more DLC content and a sequel.
Yes.
Which the game definitely deserved.
100%.
It is the standout Ubisoft game of the year.
It's the best game of the year from Ubisoft.
Yes.
Like, it absolutely is. It's a phenomenal game.
And I would say, I would hazard a guess that the people that dislike it haven't played it.
Yeah. They're the people that
fun.
automatically dismiss any 2.5D like side-scrolling game. Yeah. They just go, meh. But honestly, it is phenomenal. I'm a big Metroidvania fan, yes. So I'm the exact target audience, but the gameplay is so good.
Yeah.
Like, this game is really good. Like, it's so good I wouldn't expect it to be Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a brilliant game. I bought it twice. I bought the DLCs. It's so good. But yeah, it's such a shame. And then they released the Rogue Prince of Persia,
which is like a hand-drawn version of the Lost Crown, isn't it, almost?
But it's a freaking, what's it called? The style of game. Roguelite. Yeah, which sucks compared to a Metroidvania.
Oh, massively.
It's not in the leagues. And the reason, it just baffles me that they canned off the Lost Crown and then kept this going.
And the Lost Crown looks better.
Yeah, like
Gameplay's better, the
game,
mechanics are better. Like
it's got a
aesthetically,
story. It's got voice acting in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a full-on.
it's got cutscenes and stuff. Like
You could spend like 50 plus hours in it. Yeah, there's cutscenes in it. The other thing's just like an automatically generated, procedurally generated level jumper, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's cool, but why release that so soon after the Lost Crown?
And should it not be the other way around?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, if they did Rogue Prince of Persia and you go, oh, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. I'd understand the hate that it would get.
Yeah.
And then the Lost Crown came out, you go, oh, you've stepped up.
Yeah, but
that was quick.
Stepped kind of down.
Yeah, and so close to each other as well.
So close to each other. And then they canned Lost Crown and kept Rogue going. And I know it's by the people that made Dead Cells and stuff, but seriously? Like, what's the better game here? Play both, because I've played both. And tell me, because I know which one I'm choosing.
Yeah, so it was the standout Ubisoft moment, but it was also the standout Ubisoft moment is them doing a Ubisoft and like being self-destructive. I think they've been sued like 20,000 times this year.
How many times have they been sued this year?
Every time I do like writing the news videos, like I'm writing out the notes and stuff like the headlines this week. It's like Ubisoft have been sued again.
I think you started the news just because of Ubisoft being sued. They got sued that much. You're like, I'm going to have to tell people.
I'm going to have to tell people about it. It's hilarious. They are my source of comedy. As I said in the recent news video, if they're actually going to sort themselves out with Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think I might have to stop doing the news videos.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to talk about. No. What was your unexpected surprise game this year?
Wow. The unexpected surprise game has to be Indiana Jones for me.
Yeah.
Purely because I thought, don't know if I like the look of the gameplay. Looks like it's really slow and long.
Yeah.
Didn't like the sound of this like 4 hour plus cutscene.
Yeah.
Didn't like the first to third person thing.
Weird.
Everything just felt weird about it.
Yeah.
Even watching the gameplay, I just felt like something was wrong. And then hearing how like savage the PC specs were for it, and then actually playing it is the complete reverse of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The game's incredibly fun. Like the actual gameplay loop and mechanics like work great. It looks phenomenal. It runs great on PC if you just turn off path tracing. You know, like it. I was really surprised. I love the voice acting in it. I love bludgeoning people to death with random objects like fly swats and stuff. Yeah. Like it's really shocked me of like how fun this game has been.
I totally with you. 100% agree. I went from 0 to 100 on that game.
Yeah.
Unexpected surprise. Absolutely. I would even say, even this early on in this video, that it might be my favorite game of the year.
Wow.
It's definitely the best, as we said in the whole video we did about, whole podcast we did about it, it's definitely the best Xbox release this year.
Yeah.
It's like standout.
Yeah.
Better than Call of Duty, and I would count that as an Xbox release.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it is. Yeah, no, yeah.
It's just an absolute standout. I'm really happy for the team that it's coming to PlayStation so soon.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, that's when you're going to get the player base.
Yeah. You're going to get more money for them as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully because they know what they're doing clearly with,
if they can keep Bethesda and Machine Games, is it?
Yeah, Machine
keep them
Gun Games.
together.
Yeah.
Because they've done something special
They've done
here.
something really good here, yeah.
And none of the videos of the game do it any justice at all.
But what would be really funny is, because this is where I was going with, the PC specs are high, but it's done really well.
Yeah.
And they know how to use like upscalers and stuff. Wouldn't it be funny if the best game on PS5 Pro
I know you're going to go there.
was an Xbox game? Mm-hmm. The first game that fully utilizes PSSR like properly.
It's a technical marvel that it works so well on the Xbox.
Yeah. They've tackled 60 FPS, 1800p on the Series X.
It looks amazing. It really does. Even the ray tracing that they have put into the Xbox looks phenomenal. I've not seen it on the Series S. I'd really love to.
Yeah.
Love to see what the scale, because that's scaled down again.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, but the fact that they've got it working day one, and I've not heard of anyone having problems.
No,
because there'd be outroar.
Yeah, I saw the Digital Foundry thing, and they were like praising it.
Yeah, it's unreal. Definitely a surprise this year. If you've not played it yet, definitely do. If you're slightly in the future, welcome, Time Traveler.
Yes.
Maybe you're in PlayStation land. It's coming out really soon on PlayStation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Springtime.
Yeah, spring.
For some reason, I still want to say it was January, February.
You
but
kept saying
I know
that.
it's wrong.
No.
Got it in my head for some reason.
PlayStation games are coming out on PC this year in January.
Well, let's go there, okay, because that's been a real surprise. It's been a real change.
Yeah, really quick releases.
PlayStation's aggressive PC policy.
Love it.
Yeah, same.
It's the whole reason I sold my PS5 this year.
Yep.
Literally for this reason, and now they're catching up and making things come across faster.
Spider-Man 2 was the kind of real catalyst for the speed thing, or the real changing moment. And that's built off the back of how successful the games Nixies have ported over have been.
Yes.
Both in like how they've sold, but like technically how they work as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima on PC
Amazing.
is a masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah. Literally everything. Nixies, we've done a whole podcast, I think, about it.
Yeah, it's their biggest like asset.
Yeah. And I fully agree. And I think PlayStation are seeing that now, and they're like leaning into it before, and just seeing that, PC players do want to play our games.
And also that it doesn't affect the PlayStation sales so much.
Because
it's a totally different audience.
Yes.
So now the gap's really shrunk. Spider-Man 2, which is coming out January, is it?
Yeah, end of January, yep.
So that's about 12 months after it was released on PlayStation 5.
Yes.
We now see Last of Us 2 Remastered is coming out on PC. It's been announced. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yes.
PC.
Yep.
So it's all happening, and it's all happening in like 12 to 18 month time frame. So it's getting smaller and smaller.
And Stellar Blade even have confirmed.
Stellar Blade confirmed. That's going to be amazing. Those
So
mods are going to be awesome. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC. Obviously, I have to mention it.
Of course.
Going to be very excited to see what that looks like.
Yes. Yeah,
they did. To be fair to them, they did a really good job with the PS5 Pro version. It's one of the few that actually works really well.
I totally agree.
I think it's the only third-party one that works
that
well.
Looks good. Yeah.
That's a really big thing that changed as well. So PlayStation going after PC so well. Square abandoning PlayStation happened this year.
Yeah. Well, they did Rebirth.
Yeah.
And then nobody bought it.
Nobody bought it.
So they went, bye.
Do you know what
go to PC.
Excited for that next year is the Switch 2.
Yes.
Seeing Final Fantasy come home to Nintendo.
Yes.
I've always felt slightly at odds that it's on PlayStation. It's been 30 years.
Yes.
Well, just shy.
Yeah.
Was it 97 Final Fantasy 7 came out?
Something like that. Between 90.
Early days of the PS1.
Yeah.
So it's always felt a little bit at odds that it's on PlayStation. And it's been a really long time that it's been timed exclusive on PlayStation. But it does feel like a Nintendo game the whole time.
Yeah.
Everything about it feels Nintendo.
Well, all the old Final Fantasies used to be on Nintendo systems, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, obviously we can talk about Switch 2 when we get to the hardware pieces a bit, even though that's going to be like next year. But it looks like it's absolutely going to be able to run these kind of things.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're still targeting 720p and 900p. They're not going for 4K or anything like that. So all that means is if we do get DLSS because we've got an NVIDIA chip,
which it will have,
we will totally be able to upscale from like 480p to 720p or 900p, all these modern, really demanding games. It should keep itself going for at least 4 or 5 years, if not another 8.
I think it will be. So what that means for part 3 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake is the interesting part of that as well.
Yes, yeah.
And of course, future Square games.
Do you think they're going to day one release it across all platforms? Or just PlayStation and PC?
I find it hard to second guess that. The time frame is the important part there. Because when does that release? I still think we're like 3 years away from it happening.
Probably, yeah. You think it's going to be a PS6 title? Oh, Switch free.
Well, there is an argument to say it could be a Nintendo exclusive.
Well,
it's got a bigger player base.
I can't see it being Switch.
It just depends on when it lands and what Nintendo hardware exists at that time.
It'll be Switch 2 at that point.
Probably will be, yeah.
Yeah, because Switch 2 is going to come next year, so in 3 years' time.
And the one thing that Square have done since Final Fantasy VII, since they've had the hardware abilities of the PlayStation, is they are known for their like technical marvels, like making things like the cutscenes and stuff as beautiful as possible.
Yeah. They always have.
Like those early PlayStation Final Fantasies were all about like the cutscenes and how how amazing does this look?
CGI was insane.
It was so ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. They're like movies.
It really were, yeah. So I think they move away from PlayStation exclusivity, but I mean, PlayStation and PC at launch is very likely.
Yeah, I feel like
I
that.
can imagine seeing the Steam logo on there.
Yeah, maybe even on Switch at the same time.
There is kind of an elephant in the room, a question mark that could throw all of this into disarray.
Microsoft buying them.
And it's a hardware thing, so we're talking about it a bit too early. But does Steam have a console by then?
Ooh, in 3 years' time? Probably, yeah. At least Steam Deck 2 will be out in that time. 100%.
What if it's just Steam? Like, not the Steam console exclusive.
Off your cup.
But, like, it's not on the consoles at the start. It's just
Yeah.
PC only. Because the Steam console exists.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think they'll do that because there's 200 million console players.
That's true.
Out there. They wouldn't.
They just go non-platform exclusive and go everywhere.
That's what I think. That's what I think they'll do. They'll just release it on everything at once and on Xbox at the same time. Just all of it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, why limit yourselves now? Like, if you've made a game as big as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and it's flopped as hard as Rebirth flopped because of PlayStation.
Yep.
Let's be frank here. It is because it was only on PlayStation.
Yep.
If it's on everything, then you've just opened your doors to let anyone buy it.
I guess the question with Final Fantasy VII, I don't want to dwell on this game too much.
You do really.
I do. I could do whole episodes about it. Is it flopped on PlayStation? Yes. But on what system would it have done better?
PC.
Do you think it would have sold more on PC?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I reckon so. Because it really didn't sell on PlayStation.
It didn't, no. It was very it was the best-selling game of February, and it released on the last day of February.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean a great deal.
No, it doesn't, no. Now, I don't know. I feel like it should just release across platform.
Yeah.
And totally be available on Switch too. It would just be
totally,
upscaled, that's fine. And again, I think they would make way more money that way.
Yeah. It didn't win the major awards at the Game of the Year
Yes.
awards. I was surprised. I'm happy that Astrobot did win.
Yes.
But I kind of assumed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth might have got it.
Yeah.
Do you know what's nice about it not winning though? Is you said it in the last week's episode of the podcast. Is that a DLC and a remake didn't win Game of the Year?
Yes.
And actually, I can't ignore that.
Yeah. I don't want
It's
to.
a new thing, new game.
New game.
It is the Game of the
Give
Year.
it its own category if you want best DLC this year or whatever, but it can't be in Game of the Year. Doesn't make sense.
And it's too flawed. I had a beautiful time, but for me, the whole thing is always a big nostalgia trip. I could live in that universe forever. And even with that kind of deep love for that franchise, when I finished it, I didn't want to play it again.
Yeah.
And that tells me everything about that game.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a good time, but I had too much time.
Yeah. It's too big.
I think of it like Christmas cake.
Yeah.
This is Christmas.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit, it's
really nice.
It's really nice. And, and your brain goes, you could have more of that.
Yes.
But you don't.
Yeah.
But if you have half a Christmas cake,
yes,
by the end of it, you're like, I don't want to look at one ever again.
Yes, yeah.
It's that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too much of a good thing, maybe?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I will play it when it comes to PC, but when, I don't know. And it's just, I get that weird open world dread with games
100%.
That big, I go,
Huge.
I don't know if I want to start it because I don't think I'm going to finish it. You know? So we'll see. We'll see. But I definitely want to play it because I played through Remake ready for this.
You're going to have to play Crisis Core before you do. You don't have to. It's not the law.
Well, I'm like halfway through.
And that's a really easy game to complete. But you should do. So then you've got the Zack story nailed. I did a real nerdy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Before Rebirth came out.
Oh, yeah, you played them all.
I played them all in order as well.
Yeah, too right.
Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII, and then I was like, okay, that's cool. But actually, if I was to say logically, the story makes a bit like Star Wars is told in non-chronology.
Yeah.
It actually makes more sense to play Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, then Crisis Core, then Remake. Actually makes
Rebirth,
more sense because you appreciate where you are in the universe.
Yes.
Anyway, other games that stood out to you, obviously Call of Duty, Black Ops 6.
Oh, yeah, that was really good. Yeah, like surprising. It's a return to form for Call of Duty for me because I'd not fallen out of love with it. I had Modern Warfare 3 or whatever it was before Black Ops 6, and I enjoyed that game. I'd play it from time to time. It's good. I like having a Call of Duty, but I'd spent years kind of away from it, kind of bit me. And then Black Ops 6 comes. Not only is it Game Pass, which is incredible, so massive win from Xbox and Game Pass there, but also a huge return to form for Call of Duty.
Massive.
The most fluid, natural, and more fun, exactly, Call of Duty that I've played in years.
It's the first one in a long time where I felt like I can actually enjoy playing it.
Yes.
And I think about like the Modern Warfare from the year before. I didn't enjoy a single moment of playing it.
Yeah.
And I haven't enjoyed Call of Duty for a long time, to the point where I always feel like I'm always looking for Battlefield, because that's my like chosen shoot. That's the shooter that I really liked. I'm always looking at the comparisons, but this is the first Call of Duty in forever that I'm playing, and I'm not thinking about it compared to others. I'm just enjoying it for itself.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
You're like actually just playing because it's fun to play. Yeah, I totally agree.
It ties me over really nicely to one thing that's really been apparent this year, and it's Xbox Game Pass going so hard. They are slapping.
Well, they've done huge things this year.
Yes.
Really. Not only have they got Game Pass pushing it like hard, doing the everything's an Xbox campaign.
This is an Xbox.
That is an Xbox. Play Anywhere campaign. They are setting themselves up, for this to take over. They've also added the play your own games anywhere. That's a huge thing to add in line with Game Pass, and also adds in line with this is an Xbox.
Yes.
Because if you own that game, now it is an Xbox. Yeah. Like, it was weird how at the launch of the ad campaign of This is an Xbox, they hadn't actually launched the
thing that makes everything an Xbox.
It was like, no, this is a Game Pass.
Yeah.
But now this is an Xbox.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a weird one.
It's a small little tweak that they've done to the cloud service stuff that absolutely fundamentally changes it.
Yeah.
From being you can stream Game Pass games to you can now stream, and it's not all games yet, but they're rolling it out. But now you can stream games you own.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and that makes all the difference.
And it does mean that now that this phone is an Xbox now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great move from them. It is acknowledgement, I think, by them that they aren't going to win hardware sales toe-to-toe with Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah, they know that.
They're so far behind. Yeah,
but I think they're thinking future. You know, they're trying to get ahead of the curve, build this infrastructure up ready, and when they release a handheld,
which is kind of nailed on that it's going to happen.
Yeah, they've confirmed it. This is all going to align really nicely with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, interesting thing with a handheld is that he did say that being able to play locally is centrally important to it.
Yes.
Now, he didn't obviously confirm any details. And do you think that also means that playing locally is important, but does it just mean your own games? And would this streaming your own games thing satisfy that enough? I know it does mean you still need an internet connection.
Yeah, no,
Or is he talking about it needs to be like an Ally X?
Yeah, it's going to be an Ally X. Yeah, that's why he's saying locally, is you're going to download the games off Game Pass or the games that you own on your Microsoft Store, for example.
I think you're bang on right about it's them trying to future-proof themselves and acknowledging that they're not going to win hardware sales, but the future may not be just about hardware.
Yeah.
And if you then kind of pretend to transcend and go, no, it's about just being able to play your games anywhere, then this is Xbox.
Yes.
It's a smart move. And what it does show me, and PlayStation have started to respond, is that this next chapter of the console wars, horrible thing, but the next chapter of competition in gaming is about accessibility anywhere all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
PlayStation have announced the cloud streaming for the Portal.
Yes. Yeah. Which is a really good move for the...
It's a huge step for PlayStation.
I know, but it's just funny, isn't it? When you look side by side.
I know.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Cool. But no, for those users of the Portal, it makes it actually not a paperweight anymore.
And what I will say is that little tweak, I would argue, puts them ahead of Xbox in their offering in some ways.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
As in, you don't have to own a PlayStation 5.
You just get a Portal, and
it's kind of a genius move.
Yeah, but you don't even need to buy a Portal for an Xbox now. This is an Xbox. You've all got one on your phone.
That's true. Yeah.
You can't, do you know what I mean? So I would argue Xbox are ahead in that.
Does the PlayStation cloud streaming work on...
No.
Okay. You answered my question about me saying that, but you know where I was going.
Yeah.
So like if you just had a backbone controller and I was using my phone...
No. You've got to...
it has to be Portal.
That would be...
remote play.
Remote play from your PS5.
I didn't know if they had enabled
no, I don't think
cloud
so.
stream to other devices.
Not
so that would be a winning move.
Well, but then that again would then start putting them into Xbox territory.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, well,
this is convergence.
I'm hoping that even though Sony have sat above Microsoft and gone, haha, Xbox sucks, now Xbox are doing all this stuff that they're not doing. They're going, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, some of this is good.
Some of this is overtaking us a bit.
Yeah.
So they need to start copying. My number one love for Xbox is the play anywhere thing of buy the game once, you own it on Xbox, you own it on PC, and your saves are cross-save.
Cross-saves.
So I love that idea. I'd love to be able to buy a game and play it wherever I want with my save on anything I want without having to buy it like 50 times.
Cloud saving is like, it has to be the future of all games that you have access to on multiple platforms. It's just...
You're just buying a license to play the game, right?
Which, let's be honest, every time we talk about digital services, we always get the same comments about, oh, it's all right if you don't want to own the game. You've never, ever owned a game.
Yes, yeah.
Any of these discs that I own
them.
I don't own the game. I own a license to play it off that disc.
Yes.
And even it's arguable that I'm not allowed to copy that disc.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo have definitely argued that.
Yeah.
And won a few cases.
Yeah.
You've never owned it. And if that game, let's say... I bought the PlayStation copy of the recent Modern Warfare.
Yes.
Right, when it came out last Christmas. I know, it was pointless. But I've got a license to play that. If PlayStation, if Activision turn off that server, I no longer have access to that game.
It's now a coaster.
It's a coaster.
Yeah.
So even having the disc doesn't mean I'll always be able to play the game.
Yes.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Especially nowadays where most of the time the game's not even on the disc. It's either an
always
activation
on the disc.
code where you have to just download it anyway.
Call of Duty's that?
Yeah, exactly that. Or it is on the disc, but it needs a day one update to play. So it's redundant anyway in the future if they turn that server off that provides that update.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's all digital now. That's the way you've got to think of it. Yeah. You've got to think that gaming is just digital now.
Yeah.
It's gone PC. And PC's been there for years.
PC's been there for years. And hey, I'm here to embrace the convenience of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the convenience of it, being able to just have it and not worry about changing the disc is amazing.
Yeah.
Like it really is a good thing.
I can't remember where I distracted you from.
I
had
don't
to
remember. I was just saying about Xbox and the Play Anywhere thing.
Yes.
And because it's a license, you've paid for that license. Why do you need to pay multiple times for that license of the same game if you want to play it on a different system? Do you know what I mean? I think the future is you will buy the game once and play it wherever you want.
Yeah, totally.
That would be cool. We're years away from that, like a long time away, but that would be the ultimate goal.
All it takes is one of them to jump into that. One publisher or one platform to open that up.
Xbox is basically there.
It pretty much is, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's been, obviously, we've got the Xbox handheld, which is kind of confirmed. We've got obviously, early days.
Years,
it's probably at 26, 27 that that's going to come.
Yes, yeah.
There's strong rumours about PlayStation handheld as well.
I reckon we're same time frame. Yeah.
It's interesting. The interesting part of that story is that the Portal was supposed to be that.
Yes.
And they scaled it back during development.
Well, no different than the Switch OLED was supposed to be a Pro, and then they scaled that back because of shortages and chips and whatever.
Yeah, it has been for certain the year of the handheld.
Yes, absolutely. This year has gone hard. Well, it's been the past couple of years, really, isn't it?
We're definitely moving in that way, and that kind of plays into that accessibility, play anywhere kind of mindset.
Yes,
but it would be remiss of us at 128KB not to talk about the Ally X this year.
Yeah, that thing has absolutely gone hard.
Yeah.
Like, so hard, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. Like, it really has. I mean, we saw the likes of, we've always been big Switch lovers here, especially me, because, again, I love the handheld side of it. And bridging that gap between console playing and handheld playing, but the same game, not some like rubbish version of.
Yes, that was the big change.
That was where everyone went, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
And then we saw the Steam Deck, which was incredible. Then we saw people like Asus going, hang on, we can just basically put a laptop in a little box.
Yeah, APUs are good enough and small enough
Yeah.
now.
So they did that, some issues with the first one. And then this year we saw the release of the Ally X, where they just basically took the first Ally, got everything that was wrong with it, and just fixed it all and made it even better.
Now, I will say, we obviously spoke with their PR team a couple of times. They gave us a press unit pre-launch, but it also gave us kind of quite a rare opportunity to ask them very direct questions, which I did, like why X, Y, and Z? Why did you... why the change in cooling? Why the bigger batteries? Like everything we've changed was in response to what the community was feeding back to us.
Yes.
And I thought that was really interesting because it meant that they were actively listening.
Actually listening, yeah.
And they said we acknowledged that the early... the Z1 Extreme version was the Z1 version had issues, and it gave us a bad reputation because it did have a lot of RMAing with it.
But it was their first device like this, so it was kind of expected, and that's why I always stood away from them. I thought the same from Valve. I thought the Steam Deck would be the same boat.
It shocked me that it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they proved us wrong with incredible support, but the same with Asus.
Yeah,
they've supported the Ally more than any other handheld manufacturer. They've beat the pants off of MSI, Lenovo, and all these kind of things just with software support alone.
Yeah.
Let alone how good the hardware's been. But yeah, Asus have really shocked me. I went into this thinking it was going to be rubbish when they were sending it out to us. I was like, nah, Steam Deck for life. Switch, got the Ally X. I was like, Windows is going to suck. Tested it and went, oh my God. I put a pre-order in.
Well, you start selling stuff straight away.
I was like, I'm going to buy one.
Yeah. I will say, and I've talked about it forever. If you've watched us through the year, I've talked about it. I still hate Windows on a handheld.
Yeah. It can be better.
That's the thing. Yeah. Microsoft just need a handheld OS version now.
Yes.
They need it now. They need it yesterday.
Yeah. I think Xbox are going to work on that though. Yeah. Definitely. To create a SteamOS style front.
That's all it needs to be.
Loads on top of Windows.
That's all it needs to be. Trim all the bloat out of Windows, but keep it there.
Yeah.
Add some Xbox bloat in front of it.
Yeah. No, but that's it. That's it.
And give me the option to be able to switch back to
out
Windows.
into Windows and then use it as a PC.
Yeah.
No different than a Steam Deck, essentially.
That's all. But I need everything. Armory Crate does do a fairly good job of holding
Armory
your hand.
Crate is really good.
Surprisingly good. Because Armory Crate of the past.
Yeah. Nah, it's not been my thing. I've been using Asus products for 20 years. And the software is crap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Asus.
Well, it's always been things that let it down.
It's been
premium product, crap software.
Yeah. Has been. But they really shone with Armory Crate on the Ally. Yeah, there's been some updates that have made it a bit slow, whatever. Then they've come back and fixed it.
Yeah.
So they're actively fixing this stuff, but they've done really good.
I'll say that it was true. There's some standout moments with handheld gaming that have made me go, wow. Obviously, the Switch happening was a wow moment for everyone.
Yes.
Not so much the Switch OLED. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck OLED.
Oh, that's a huge.
I still remember seeing yours for the first time and like, wow.
Yeah.
That
incredible.
just looks incredible. But the first real proper wow of this is the future was playing Xbox games on the Ally X.
Yeah. We played through all of Gears of War 4, was it? Or 5?
Gears 5.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Together,
Yeah, just on that Allies, though.
Yes.
So we were
totally
remotely,
handheld.
we were using Discord through the thing.
I wasn't even in my house at the time. I was house sitting for producer Pete. He was on holiday.
Yeah.
So I was at his house. He's got not a great internet connection, but just playing it. Playing this AAA game on this handheld device.
1080p. Really good settings.
Beautiful. And I always had concerns of because I'm not a handheld lover. I love the Switch, but I never played it handheld.
No,
it was
always docked it.
It was a console for me. So I was a bit I don't know how I'm going to get on with that screen. It's quite small. It's going to get crooked up. No.
Not a problem.
And now I'm downloading games. Now I'm playing, I think I downloaded about Battlefield 2046, whatever it's called. For some reason, it's still rubbish. but it performed amazing.
Yeah.
Just going through games that were on Game Pass.
Like
It was
Hi-Fi Rush, Hot Wheels 2.
all those real high-end games.
Oh no, but they run amazing on there. Though.
Hi-Fi Rush was a blast. I had
Yeah.
such a good time. Yeah, Hot Wheels 2 is an amazing, like, fun
I
driving
love
game.
that game.
What's the really demanding driving game that Xbox release? Forza.
Yeah.
Although Motorsport is hellishly broken for all PC.
Yeah.
Horizon is amazing.
Yes.
Just had the best time.
Yeah.
And it was truly like, oh wow, this isn't just a future of gaming. This changes how I play games.
Yes.
We talked about that as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I just play whenever I want.
And that's the thing with the Ally X specifically, because of that bump up in RAM
Yeah.
and a massive 80 watt hour battery life with that really good Z1 Extreme chip in it. Like, I went from the Switch being like, this is amazing, but obviously it's still a bit potato mode. You know,
Yeah.
you're basically playing really choppy third-party games or Nintendo games, which is fine, but it's the only way to play them. Like, look at me, I'm Skyrim handheld at 5 FPS.
Yeah,
like,
rubbish,
wicked. No, that was great. I loved it.
Yeah, but it's rubbish.
Yeah, it is rubbish. And then it's like Steam Deck's here. Oh, wow. It's like way better than the Switch because I've got 20 years worth of PC games now available.
Yeah.
But for the AAA brand new games,
It's not possible.
it's not really there. You could make it work, and it's like, look at me playing at 27 FPS. I can kind of bear it,
Yeah.
you know, which is fine, you know, and especially now that some games have got better upscaling and whatever. But I was like, yeah, okay, this is all right. But then the Ally X just took it to the next level, playing 1080p handheld, like 60 plus FPS.
It's amazing.
It's
That's amazing.
absolutely mind blowing.
The one thing I really want now, the next step from probably Asus or one of the other PC manufacturers, is a really smart prefabricated version of what you built this year.
Oh, the eGPU.
The eGPU is an amazing, and it was an amazing series of videos. I loved those videos, and I loved seeing you do it and seeing the performance that you could get out of a handheld is epic. You basically built the ultimate Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
The Switch 25.
yeah, the PC Switch.
Yeah, it's unreal. But what I would love is for Asus in particular to produce a dock
Yes.
with a GPU in it
Yes. Yeah.
that that literally is as elegant as the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I would love to see Asus do what they did with the XG Mobile,
Yes.
but, you know, make it Thunderbolt 5
Yeah.
and do two variants. One's with pre-included GPUs for people that want hands-off.
For people like me that I just want a clean, simple
you want to
solution.
buy something, plug it in.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But I also want them to make an enclosure
Yeah.
so that you could put in a 5090 if
It's
you wanted.
such a gap in the market now that those simple enclosures just they haven't been made for like 5-6 years.
Yeah. They're all like 2017, and they're all using really old Thunderbolt controllers.
Yeah.
And the performance really isn't amazing. They're usable, so if you've got one, amazing. You're probably having a great time.
It's
But
weird that it just stopped.
yeah, no one's making them anymore. You have to do what I did and
Yeah, like
buy
kind
random
of
parts from China and
half fabricate it yourself and kind of jerry rig things together.
yeah.
What you've done's amazing though.
Yeah, it's really cool, and hopefully it's upgradable. So when the Thunderbolt 5 controllers come, I could just swap it out, keep the same graphics card, get performance boost, whatever, you know. And obviously with the new handhelds, maybe we'll see some Thunderbolt 5 ports. But we're going to do a whole video about handhelds. I think that's the next episode.
It is. And
Yeah,
I just want to touch on it because we were there.
Yeah, I know.
Bloody hell, it's been an hour of Christmas already.
Is it?
Your Christmas Eve.
Wow.
I was just looking at my notes and going, wow, okay, we're really far through. But we're at the end anyway. There's one final thing that really did stand out today, this year.
Today. What has stood out today? The set change?
The set change.
The channel location?
The channel. All sorts.
The Christmas jumpers?
They definitely stand out. I'm going to wear it to lunch as
Yeah,
well.
I'm going to wear mine as well.
No. PlayStation.
Yeah.
30th anniversary.
Oh.
I just want to say massive hats off to PlayStation.
Lovely.
What I want to say as a really poignant thing right at the start is I didn't really say it enough in the news video when I covered it, but the 30th anniversary of PlayStation is really important for me personally because it represented the moment where I truly fell in love with gaming.
Yeah.
The PlayStation was it. I'd played games my whole life. From my earliest memories, we had my older siblings had an Atari, played that. There was a Master System in the house as well. It was rubbish. It still is rubbish. There was, I talked about that core memory with Sega Mega Drive. But that era of games was great, but I was never immersed fully in the games. A Flashback was probably one of the only ones I can remember fully getting immersed into, but never like deeply to my core. Part of it's your age as well and all the rest of it. But the game, the depth of the games wasn't there in an abundance that it was PlayStation era post.
PlayStation was a complete game changer.
Absolutely.
Like, literally.
Yeah. I remember the core. I remember seeing Doom for the first time on PlayStation. Tomb Raider. A game. Do you remember Descent?
No.
It was rubbish.
That's fine.
Yeah. Excalibur 2055, whatever it was called. Like, just huge memories. And then, of course, Final Fantasy VII, which changed everything for me in gaming. But it all centers around the PlayStation 1 30 years ago.
Yeah. And that's the same for me, really, with the home console. I've always been the handheld guy, but home console, I didn't have one. My brother, that was like, 10, 11 years older, he had a PlayStation. Like day one, he was like, I'm buying that. And I remember being a kid being like, can I come play PlayStation with you? And he would always be like, yeah, come on. Like, and we'd play 2-player. Even if the game wasn't 2-player, he'd give me the other controller and I'd just pretend. And we'd be playing like MotoGP and stuff and all this kind of stuff and just whatever it would be. And like Crash Bandicoot. I loved it. It was so hard. Cool. But like all these epic games, like Medieval, I love that stuff, and it blew my mind as a kid because I was used to the rubbish stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, gaming, that's cool. But the PlayStation was like, this is cool gaming,
I may be wrong. You could tell me if I am in the comments, but
he's wrong.
For me, there's like a history in gaming, and there was before PlayStation and there was after PlayStation.
Yeah.
And after PlayStation, each kind of chapter of gaming, each generation is marked by what PlayStation is out in that moment.
100%, yeah.
That's how I
I get you.
How I kind of generally feel about it. So seeing the 30th anniversary was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
I loved being able to go on a nostalgia trip.
Yes.
I loved seeing the scalpers getting hurt by not being able to overprice things.
Hilarious, yeah.
I did cancel my PS5 Portal pre-order.
Yes, but you did get the controller.
I did get the controller. I love the controller.
Yeah.
I want PlayStation so deeply to go back to that design style.
It should just be the standard thing now.
That PlayStation Grey, that PS1 Grey that's there.
You can't beat it.
With the rainbow logo.
Oh no, you can't beat it.
And do you know what made me even more excited was when we saw the Naughty Dog game, Intergalactic.
Yeah, the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Right at the end of the announcement trailer, they fire up the retro PlayStation logo.
Just before it then comes up with the new one.
PlayStation. I hate that one.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
So annoying.
What is with that? Like,
I don't know.
Who thought that'd be cool?
It's as annoying as the old EA Sports one.
It's in the game.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, well, good one. I love having the old icons back.
Yes.
On the controller.
Yeah.
The coloured icons. Yeah. Why did they move away from that? I still don't know.
Why didn't they move away from the grey?
The grey is cool as
White's
a base
horrible.
colour. Is horrible.
White shows all the poo that's on your hands.
I'm constantly trying to clean my controller
Doritos everywhere. If it's grey,
I've got actually a white
stains.
DualSense behind now. I kind of
that needs to go away.
So much about that design style is so cool, and I don't know if it's just like massive nostalgia because, like I say, I do want to acknowledge that it's really important in my memory.
What it is, yeah.
But I love it. I love the rainbow PlayStation logo.
I do. Well. Yeah, I do.
I think that's PlayStation.
The grey and the colours just pop. And it's wicked.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So I got the controller. I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like I said, I cancelled the Portal pre-order. And then like a week or so after they landed, PlayStation then announced that you can stream games.
Yeah.
Cloud stream games.
I was a bit gutted.
I was like,
I was a bit gutted. It was funny though, because you obviously were getting the Portal.
Yeah.
And it was coming up to, your birthday. And I was like, I'll get him a Portal dock charger.
Yeah.
And I had it sat in my car and I was like, don't know. So I left it there in the car and I went away and I came back and I was like, he's going to cancel it.
You know me too well.
So I didn't get you that. And I got you the sign behind your head instead.
The game.
The game.
GA as it is behind my head.
Yeah. That's it. The game on. So, and then as soon as like I hadn't even thought about like said anything, it wasn't even your birthday yet, so I hadn't even given you anything. And you were just like, Andy, I've got a confession. I was like, you've bloody cancelled that portal. You're like, yeah, I have. I was like, yeah, it's a bloody good job because I was going to get you something for your freaking birthday. So yeah, I am kind of sad you didn't get that though, because it would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
But you weren't to know that they were going to put streaming. And to be fair, I don't think you would have used it even then.
No, probably not. I probably
wouldn't.
wouldn't, because I tend to play all my games here.
Yeah.
And I've sat in front of a TV.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's how I enjoy games.
Exactly.
Well, I will say that my PlayStation, the second half of this year, has barely been turned on.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Mine's
I've just
in
been
the pawn shop.
Yeah, you sold yours. It's all Xbox for me. So much so that I upgraded to the Series X this year.
That's crazy, isn't it? You've got two current gen
I do. I
Xboxes.
gave my Series S to producer Pete.
Well, that's true, yeah. Okay, so you got one again now.
Got one
but,
again,
but at
yeah.
least he's got an Xbox now as well.
He was like, you keep talking about this Game Pass thing. Is it any good?
It's so
And I
good.
was like, right, just take this Series S home, set yourself up on it, and sign up. I had one of those vouchers for a free month. That
Yes, yeah,
in the
yeah,
controllers you
yeah.
I gave him that. He signed up, and he's been playing Call of Duty since.
Loving it.
Beautiful.
And he's going to play Indiana Jones as well.
He better.
But yeah, I love the PlayStation stuff. I still love PlayStation as well, but
Deeply.
the only reason I got rid of mine is because A, I wasn't playing it at the time, and B, all the games are coming to PC.
Yeah.
And I want to support that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just buy them on PC where they're a link to my account for the next 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So
The fact that you've got the Ally X
Yeah.
and you've got the eGPU
Yeah,
now
yeah.
as well means you're best of both worlds.
and when the next iterations come,
Yeah.
I can still continue to play
I
them.
mean, you'll be able to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm going to mention it again because I've not mentioned it enough. Be able to play Final Fantasy VII handheld,
yeah.
and it'll look great.
Yeah.
And then put it on your 77-inch TV,
Yeah.
and it'll look even better.
Yeah.
You'll have a better experience of that game than I would playing it on the PlayStation,
Yeah. Yeah.
for certain.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Anything else that big happened this year that's
I can't think of anything. I think
that you
we've
want to
covered most-
reminisce on?
Not really.
Yeah.
We hit 60,000 subscribers.
We did. There we go. Thank you to each and
Thank
every one of you.
you.
It's been a beautiful year.
Thank you very much.
It's gone way crazier than we thought it would this year.
Yes.
Like way crazier.
And that's why, because the podcast, was on the smaller channel. It
the
wasn't
lack
too
of popular
insane.
demand.
We wanted to, just throw it in the limelight. Like,
Yeah.
Here you go. Look, watch
Expose
this
it.
as well.
Well, it's kind of one of the reasons.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone here
Yeah, no, big thank you.
who's watching this or listening to this.
Yeah, or
Thank you
listening.
for supporting us this year. It's been amazing. I hope you guys have an awesome gaming Christmas.
Absolutely.
And I want to know your Christmas gaming story. So let us know in the comments wherever you can.
Let us know your past, like Christmas stories. But
how
also
this Christmas went.
how this Christmas went. Did you get something awesome game related?
Yeah.
Did you get some time alone to play some games?
Yeah.
And if so, which one? Or did you get through your backlog that you've been waiting for?
That's my New Year's resolution.
Yes, exactly. I would love to hear all your stories.
Yeah,
so go for it.
absolutely. Yeah. And thanks for joining us over on the main channel, on the home of 128KB for now and
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
A beautiful thing this is. Make
Yes.
sure that you leave us some comments, like the video,
Yes.
subscribe to the channel if you're on Spotify and podcasts, rate the show and all that stuff.
Yes. And become a member here
Yeah.
now. The only place you need to become a member, but you can become a member of the Clips channels as well if you like.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, but just come here.
This is the place, and you'll get early access to these videos sometimes.
Yes. And of course, you can talk to us in our channel members Discord as well,
Yay.
which is a lovely bunch of people there, which we'll be
Yes.
celebrating Christmas with as well.
Yes.
Thank you to
absolutely.
our members specifically, because you
Big
do
thank
help
you.
keep this going.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
99p's all do add
Yep,
up.
you got us some coffee and some heating this morning.
We
as well.
had
Thank
eating
you.
in Christmas jumpers.
Yeah. And new chairs.
And you cheers. So Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, you lovely bunch.
Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you next week for some more podcasting
Yes.
and more videos.
Right here on a
128
Tuesday.
KB.
Yeah. Woo. Bye.